moment, and it makes me feel disrespected in our own home, and he crossed a boundary.
Miles to give himself a hand.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys also about Married at First Sight, dealing with Karen and Miles. Yes, let's talk about it for real. Is Karen really feeling Miles? I don't think so. Alright guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads, and for those of you who are returnees, well, you already know what it is, baby. Mineral gang. I said mineral gang. You got the minerals, you got the minerals. Alright, cool. So, I'm not going to do a whole review of Miles and Karen. I'm going to leave that for another video. But what I'm going to talk about is a specific incident that happened on the show. The very end of the show of Married at First Sight, episode 9, we see Miles and Karen in the kitchen. Now, this is off the back of a conversation they had from shopping, okay? Now, Miles was already a little bit heated from that conversation, or a little bit hurt, I should say, from that conversation. But he decides to go into a conversation with Karen once again, but this time around intimacy, okay? Now, if you remember I told you guys in the last episode that if Karen wants Miles to be able to take control, okay, and have control of the steering wheel, get out of the driving seat. Don't tell me to take the lead and you yourself won't get out of the driving seat. It's impossible, bae. You understand? It's impossible, bae. It ain't gonna happen. Scooter woof!
Wait.
We're not intimate like that yet, to that level.
Okay, better question. How do we get there?
How do you get there?
You hear me? Alright, cool. So now, remind you as well. Last few episodes back, he asked about the intimacy, and she said, obviously, don't compare us to Woody and Amani. You know, we have to take it. We'll get there when we get there. It will be natural. It will flow, right? So that message comes across. He's being respectful. You're now saying, obviously, you don't want a man that is, you want a masculine type of man to take control, You got your friends who came in last episode to come and say, listen, Karen likes a guy that takes control, a guy that's, that's going to be masculine, and lead and everything like that, right? He presents a case today, talking about how, obviously, what's the deal of intimacy, right? And I want you to pay attention, because I'm going to break it down, give it a video to let you see as well. All right, cool. So he asks about intimacy, whilst at that time, she was also going around the kitchen trying to cook a meal for them, okay? Right? Now, the moment he asks about intimacy, she doesn't stop doing what she's doing. She continues. Why is this a problem? Not saying it's Karen's fault per se. The reason why it's a problem is because when someone's moving around oftentimes, they're not in full acknowledgement of the conversation you're having. Once you have a conversation and you have eyeball to eyeball, the conversation and the nature of the conversation inevitably is going to change. In fact, the whole terrain of that conversation is going to change. But when someone's moving up and down, their full focus isn't on the conversation, which doesn't allow for a very coherent conversation to have, right? You can still have a good conversation. Don't get it twisted, right? You still have a good conversation, but with the depth of the personal kind of conversation it was, and the deepness and the deepness and the intimate nature of the conversation, it required for both parties to stop and be in each other's gaze. You get me, right? Rather than her being around the kitchen doing what she was doing, right? That's not a beef against her. Then he asked about intimacy, and she didn't answer straight away. There was a delay, and she went to the fridge. Now, it may have been a cut shot, I don't know, a cut scene, but she went to the fridge and...
Okay, well, let's talk about it. How do you feel about physical intimacy?
So, that let me know, number one, she's taking time to think about her answer. Number two, she doesn't want to answer this question. That's the truth. You taking that long, you don't want to answer that question. You don't want to go there. Why? Because we've seen that before. We've seen this behavior before. And this is why I'm saying about mixed signals. Sending me mixed messages, I just want to know. You know what I mean? So that conversation then, she doesn't say anything at first. And then her first response back to that is a defensive one, right? She got, because he presses on the issue by saying, what's your viewpoint towards, intimacy, towards sex,
Do you not enjoy having sex? Do you enjoy kissing? Do you not like kissing? What do you like to do?
I mean, yes, I'm an adult. I have needs. I'm a woman.
Yeah, what's your needs? What are your needs?
What do you mean with a...
And her first viewpoint kind of back to that is a defensive one. Yes, I'm an adult, I do have needs, etc, etc. First of all, the tone was off. Excuse me, hello. Bring it down, okay, alright? Bring it down, okay, because you're doing a bit too much right now. I don't know why you're taking that tone with me, because you don't have that conversation. And also, then he mentioned the fact, I think it might have been after, just before, he mentions also saying, oh, you know, because she was asking, why are you asking, no, he said obviously, you know, you don't usually open up about this particular topic. And she's like, what do you mean? How do you know that? I've never said that. And he goes, oh, well, because you don't really usually have, you don't open up about this conversation. You normally dismiss the conversation, right? So listen to this. The person, yeah, who you, earlier on, you told him in the shopping, when you were sitting down in the bed, you know, I want you to tell me what you need. I want you to tell me what you need, yeah? I'm now telling you what I need, and you're trying to bars, man. I'm telling you, I'm trying to have a conversation with you, get into a deep, intimate conversation, and you're already trying to dismiss, man. Like, are you alright or are you alright? Do you get me? Alright, cool. So then, what goes on to say is that she doesn't think that she doesn't think that she's ever verbalized what she likes when it comes to the intimacy part. Hold on a minute. Excuse me. So how dare you? All right, it's a little bit cheeky, isn't it? Huh? For you to be asking for someone to come and tell you their needs, and you have never told someone your actual needs in terms of what you need in the bedroom.
What are your physical needs, Karen?
I don't know if I've ever described my physical needs.
Well, here we are. I don't think I've ever married a stranger, but here we are.
Yeah. Every time you've reached climax, yeah. Sex has been that amazing. You never had to say what your needs are, or you just never got into a place with somebody who's willing and open to have a conversation with you about their needs, but that you want that person to communicate about their needs, and then when they do communicate about their needs, you come out defensive. Make it make sense.
So I feel like we should talk about that when that's like something we're going through.
We're going through it.
We're not going through it yet.
And here's the thing, no problems. Talk about it when you're going through it, but the truth of the matter is, listen, you're not going for it right now. You're determining the pace because you said you are not ready. This is my point from the last video. When people keep telling me, oh, she's moving slow, and I'm like, no, she's dictating. She's trying to say she wants a man to lead, but you dictate. You're telling us the time. You're telling us what pace to move at. So you're dictating. You're not allowing me to lead because you want me to lead. Yeah? Because you're seeing me as a weak link. You don't see me as the masculine man. And the masculine man she's talking about isn't necessarily a masculine man. The man she's talking about is a stoic type of guy, yeah? Who doesn't ever delve into his emotions, okay?
I can talk about it all day, but my feelings.
Why can you talk about it so easily? Like, I've never met a guy so, like, open.
With this feeling?
These guys are, I almost call them toxic masculinity, right? They have never dived into their emotions, you know what I'm saying? They are very polarized in their masculine energy. The very tip of the edge of the iceberg of masculinity. I'm a provider, I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one can tell me nothing, like, big up my chest. Listen, all of that stuff is all brilliant, yeah? Apex Predator, I love it, yeah? But it's in the jungle, right? Do you understand? We're not trying to see who's the biggest cat in the jungle, you understand? We don't need that, yeah? There's many different ways to slay a cat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so all of that stoic, all that ego and pride behavior that you see in a toxic male, that's what I'm hearing Karen's describing, because you've got a man who's not that way, but is a bit more emotive and willing to have a conversation about emotions, and we'll deal with that in another video. And now he's asking you to discuss a level of intimacy that, you know, he feels like you guys can start having or whatever, or at least have a conversation around what would be constituting towards intimacy, and you then shut him down. Deep what you're saying, do you know what I mean? So the fact that, and she dodged it again, you know, by saying, and that was a dodge, by saying I think it's something we should talk about, it's actually a dodge. And then you say, I think we should talk about when we're going through it, it's a dodge. Oh, you know, I believe it will be natural and we'll get there when we'll get there. What do you mean we'll get there when we'll get there? Okay, cool. And I love what Miles did. He brought another thing. All right, cool. You know what? You don't want to slay the cat this way. Let me come another way and slay the cat a different way. How do we get there then? Right? And at the point of her saying at the point of him saying how do we get there, this should have been Karen going, do you know what? This is my viewpoint. Like, yeah, do you know what? For me, this is what brings me to that point, right? But she's going on like, my man's a young man.
Do you enjoy kissing? Do you not like kissing? What do you like to do?
I mean, yes, I'm an adult. I have needs. I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Like, my man's young. No, you're just as young in your emotional ability to be able to communicate. You see, people think their maturity, okay, it comes with their age. Just because you're 30, and maybe you've heard all those discussions around the fact women mature faster than men. Yeah, you may have heard that. But if you yourself are not able to communicate what you feel, and you're living in your emotions but not telling us your emotions, okay, let me say that again. You're living in your emotions but not telling us your emotions, what good are you to me? Do you get me? What good are you to me? You're living in your emotions, but you're never telling me your emotions. Like, yo, bro, there's nothing I can do about that, bro. And yet, I'm trying to have a conversation with you to able to expand that, bring us to a point where we're coming as a couple to go deeper into our physical intimacy. And you're doing dodge and duck, dodge and duck. You get me? And also just to go back as well. She said that point that she made where she said, "Yes, I'm an adult," was actually a dig. I don't know if anyone clocked it. Yes, I'm an adult. Oh, so am I not an adult? Yes, I'm an adult. Are you trying to come at man because man's younger than you? Yes, I'm an adult. Like, yo, babe, are you alright? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, there's these little subtle digs and these little subtle comments that are showing and revealing what your heart's really saying. And yeah, you may be fearful. I understand. You know, it's a new relationship, and I get. Listen, me understanding that girls are hurt and they've been through many trash men, and I'm not gonna disagree with that. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I hear it. I do. I'm here for it. But sis, come on, be honest and truthful here. You know what I'm saying? You're docking and what? Die.
Talk about that when that's like something we're going through.
We're going through it.
We're not going through it yet.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Yeah. She said, obviously, we're not getting there yet in relation to his question of how do we get there. She said, we're not getting there yet. So man asks you, how do we get there? And you say, we're not getting there yet. You've just blocked the movement. You see, you didn't answer the question by saying, listen, this is how we get there. You said, no, we're not getting there yet. Which means you're not going to answer, how do we get there? Do you want to get there? Is that even something on your radar? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so I'm seeing this behavior and I'm going, I'm not really feeling it. Like, bro, like, and people are telling me, oh, she likes him, da da da. And yeah, she may like him. There's a lot of girls that like guys because they're grass snakes. They won't bite, yeah, and they know they're in control of those guys. But then they meet a guy who's a dangerous cobra, and that's the guy they want to play with, right? You see, so right now Miles is the grass snake with no ability to bite or no poison in his fangs. You ain't dangerous to me. Play as much as you want. I'll let you play there. And the moment he decides that he wants to strike a little bit and bite a little bit, that's when she goes, okay, cool, I'm gonna remove your fangs. I'm gonna make.
We can put it right there.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna put it right here.
What are you putting it right there?
Sex.
Literally, you can't get too deep, can't get too close to me, right? And she begins to shut it down, okay? Because he said, obviously, we're not getting there yet. I mean, I don't know what that is. You know, and then obviously, you know, then he decided, okay, cool. Do you know what? Bear in mind, remember, he's been charged up by the friend. Yeah, your friend came over there saying she wants a man to lead. Da 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 da. All right, cool. You want a man to lead? All right, cool. That's it. I'm gonna go to the calendar. Yeah, and I'm gonna write on there sex with wife. Yeah. Now, and I know he was kind of bantering, and also at the same time as well trying to show that he's trying to be assertive, innit? Maybe he needs to show a bit more assertive. That's what he's thinking. I think he's thinking in his brain. All right, your friend last time told me I need to be more assertive. All right, I'm gonna be more assertive, right? He's not thinking you're gonna take offense to it. He's not thinking that. Why? Because your friends have told him to be more assertive. You've communicated subconsciously that you wanted to be more assertive. You told people outside to be more assertive. You told him earlier on, tell me how you feel. And now he's doing it, and you're not satisfied. I'm not satisfied with where I've been. That note was off. Don't worry about that.
It was a stupid, childish moment. And it makes me feel disrespected in our own home. And he crossed a boundary. Miles to get.
And so, you know, he's got up to go and click on to write on the calendar, you know, and change the nature of the situation by going, okay, I'm going to take the bull by the horns, right? You're standing next to him, and it's funny because as he was, and this is her passive aggressiveness. He was standing by the calendar. She was like, excuse me. Like she was going to the fridge. Did she finish going to the fridge? Didn't look like it. Whatever she did there. And then she was like, what you ran on the calendar? Oh, sex with my wife, da da da. And because obviously before that, they had made a comment about the fact that She was like, oh, like September like 22 or something. I don't know what she was saying, like late in the month or whatever. And he was like, late in the month. Nah, that's too far, man. I'm bring it forward, right? Is that not what you wanted? Did you not want the assertiveness? Did you not want the leadership? Is that not what you wanted? Alpha male behavior? He's now showing you alpha male behavior by going and collecting, and you're still not satisfied? Oh, darling, get it together, darling. What is wrong with you? You understand? The truth of the matter is, you want control. Let's be honest. You see, the past relationship has hurt an individual so much that now you're trying to control proceedings. It's going too fast for you, and you don't want to let it go.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna put it right here.
What are you putting it right there?
Sex with my wife.
You want to control the narrative. Even though you say you want a man that controls things, you found a guy whose nature, okay, isn't the typical, I would say, alpha male. Yeah, he's not your typical, and I say alpha male, he's not your typical dominant male. Yeah, that inspires you and takes control of situations straight away. He's not that kind of guy, right? He's emotive, he's considerate, he's kind. You know what I'm saying? He's willing to think about you before he thinks about himself, right? You've obviously been dealing with guys who are abusive to the point where you are considerably hurt, right? And now, you know, the guy is doing something opposite to what you were in control of, because he was a grass snake and he wasn't taking control. And now he's doing it. You'll have a problem with it. It's like, babe, yo, come on. You had a problem with the fact that you were in the kitchen and he was coming into the kitchen to help you out. No, that's my domain. I want to do that. All right. So now that's a problem. Okay. You understand? You want to cook. You want to be the one that cooks. Okay. All right, cool. I'm now going to deal with the sex part. It's a problem. Okay. So you want the control, darling. Let's just be honest. You know, you want the control of the relationship. You want to control the dynamics. You want to control the pace and the speed. Okay. Oh, and then she also said the thing that, you know what, she obviously said as well, passively again, Miles gives himself a hand job. You know, instead of the sex situation, yeah, it goes, Miles gives himself a hand job. And then the cutscene says, obviously, that he's childish, you know, for writing that. And the fact that she didn't like that he did that. And it's like, sis, you're sending out these mixed messages, brother. Like, this guy doesn't know where he's coming or going. He tries to be kind, considerate, passionate, waiting, and patient for you. Your friend comes along and says, she needs a man to lead. He does the car situation. He fixes the car. Yeah, he's out here taking you shopping. All right. He gets home. He's discussing with you, being open with his feelings. You're not too open with your feelings. All right, cool. Like, yo, like, sis, like, and not only that, throughout the course of this particular video, she kept on making comments that were saying that, you know, she's not fully convinced. She's not fully there. She's not fully sure why. Like, she's not fully won over in this relationship. She's not. Anybody tell him, oh, she's growing to it, and I agree that she's growing, but the way that she's growing is the one's gonna be a problem, because the foundation is important. Yeah, not the ending. The foundation is important. So yeah, guys, I don't know. What's your thoughts? Let us know down below. What did you think? I personally don't. I really like this. Really nailed it in the coffin for me. That whole kiss that you did last episode, forced thing. I told you. Some people are like, I bet she kissed him in a cut scene. Yeah, that wasn't a proper kiss, my G. And little pet things, yeah. I used to do that for acting. It's not a big deal, bro. It's not a big deal. I appreciate you. Stay locked. Stay loaded. More love. Appreciate you guys.